tide. Let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide. You can bury yourself beneath the stones. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody is waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey,
I'm on the move.
it'll be alright.
I'm gonna go just south of Wilton Marina, or just south of Wilton Bottom Lock, and then punch through those locks. I don't know how many there are, 5, something like that. Can't remember. Later on, maybe in a couple of days, and be prepared to meet Colin at Watford Locks. That's the plan. It's an overcast day, as you can see, which is good for the camera, but not good for the soul. But, you know, life goes on. There's lots of things going on in the world today, which is far more complex and harsh than what I've got to deal with. So we've got to count ourselves lucky, in many respects, that we're not living in those war-torn areas. As I know what it's like. Not good. Not good for those on the receiving end. So I'm going to leave you with a bit of bell camp.
I can feel the sun and how the wind makes way across the fields. Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of something real.
Signpost to Northampton, Oxford, Hinckley, Nuneaton and Milton Keynes. Oxford is where I'm headed. Might take me a few months to get there, but that's where I'm headed. Down the South Oxford at turn left at Broadston. Quite easy really, navigated, isn't it, on the canals. Just go straight forward until you get a junction and then you turn left, turn right. But you can't get lost. Generally.
Hold on to a helping hand sometimes. We could all use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright.
February in a couple of days, and we've got snowdrops. I'm not sure when they're supposed to come out, but they're out, look. And on this side, loads of boats. As far as the eye can see, which is not far because there's a bend. Could do with a bit of a wash down, I think. And on this corner, there still is couple of mannequins. So airline pilot and nursey, or matron. An American airman type thing. I don't know what their rank structure is. First sergeant, second sergeant, something like that perhaps. But matron behind. I thought they might do doctors and nurses. So you got matron and Dr. Nookie. Couple of characters from what was it from? Carry on Doctor or something like that. Quite funny. I don't think you're able to make programs like that anymore. Today's younger generation just can't cope with the innuendo, perhaps. Don't know. Strange, isn't it? All that stuff's in the pan on a medium heat. Well, there's another bit of cheese. I do like cheese. Right old mess. Got all over the place, look. In there is whole grain mustard. Proper mess. Look at that, it's lovely. It's lovely. I've given it a go, and do you know what? Other than I've made a complete mess of my galley because I'm just a clumsy clot. It's lovely. It is. So that is cauliflower cheese soup with garlicky crouton things. Lovely. Bon apps, as they say. If you don't start sparking, you and me, we're going to have a few words. Because if you don't behave, I'm going to kick you so hard, you're going to reach the moon. And when you come back down, everybody else will be dead. Apart from me, because I'll be waiting here to kick you back up there again. Unless you spark, you and me, we're finished. Finished. Smells of fuel. It appears to be a little bit not very robust. Not very robust, I think is the term. Yeah. Do you know what? This machine, this Champion Atom Fusion 3000 thingy watts thing. Do you know what is brilliant when it's going? But I struggle getting it going, and I've always after a couple of months I struggled with it. For some reason or other it hasn't quite worked as expected, which is a great shame, because I think as a narrowboater there's a requirement for a generator, and the requirement is basically, well, to charge your batteries up and to give you some power, which saves you using the engine. And if your engine ever breaks for whatever reason, say for example your alternator belt breaks, or the engine just doesn't work, then a generator is a bit of a lifesaver. But don't get this one. I've been inundated with problems with it. It's had a fuel leak, which with the help of Colin's fixed, and you know, it's great. And I use cold start, which does actually work, but I have to take it apart in order to make it start, and squeeze some of that into the to the carburetor. It works well when it's going. Getting it going, nightmare. I think it's too complex. It's got one of those, it's got a shield, it's got a carbon monoxide auto shut-off shield, and because I think there's still a slight whiff of petrol going in there, it stops it working. One of the things that living on a boat I'm finding a bit of a struggle is if you want something delivered, or like this is broken, you need to deliver it yourself. I can smell fuel now. You need to deliver it yourself, and I haven't got a car, so and they will only pick up with a postcode, and if you haven't got a postcode then it's really difficult to make things work. One of the problems then with the narrowboaty life that I have to overcome, I've probably negated the warranty on it because I fixed it myself, but I wasn't in a position to take it back to Hampshire Generators. Hampshire Generators aren't in a position to pick it up because I haven't got a postcode. So what's the answer? Fix it yourself with Colin. But today is a special day. It's a special day.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.
Best effort. I can't be bothered with a cake, but I thought I'd celebrate my birthday with a iced bun and a tea light. I'm going to wish for happiness. That's all I want. And instead of opening some presents, what I'm going to open is a washing machine door to see what's inside. Well, I'll tell you what's inside. Dirty washing. Happy birthday to me. Spring is in the air. There we go. And there's something, I was talking to an old school friend not so long ago, and we were discussing spring, how I'm looking forward to spring and all that sort of stuff, and there's some daffodils that are just starting to sprout out. There's some snowdrops, and there's some buds coming along, and it's early Feb, very early Feb as it happens. And we were discussing that, well, there was a poem about daffodils by some fella called Wadsworth, or let's have a look. They said, oh, did you do daffodils? I said, I didn't do gardening at school. but I know now it's a poem. William Wordsworth, that's the fella. And they discussed that he had to learn this poem in English, and remembered the school teacher. Now, of all the English teachers I had, the only English teacher I can remember is an American. His name was Mr. Armstrong. The reason why I can remember him is because he cared. Anyway, so I'm going to read it, not all of it, but I'm going to read some of it, and it says, I wandered lowly as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Then he bangs on about stars that shine, the Milky Way, never-ending line of a bay, at a glance, slightly dance, and all that sort of stuff. The third verse got me going though. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such Jasond company. Jasond? I don't even know if I pronounced it right, because I've never heard of it before. What does it mean? There's words in that text that don't mean what they mean anymore. I think it's quite sad. But Jasond, what does that mean? Adjective: a humorous temperament, merry, pleasant. There are so many words in our language, this English language, which I have never used, never heard of. Jacund, I couldn't even pronounce it earlier on. I'm trying to think of a time when I would ever use that, and if I was to use that, how many people would actually understand what I'm banging on about? Not many, I think, will be the answer to that. Oh, and I must say that when I made that, see the generators going, when I made that soup, do not put the cheese in before you whisked it. Whisk it, sling it back in the pan, and then add the cheese, because I can't get the cheese out of these things. There's globs of cheese that I can't remove. In other news, I've got myself a new drink. Hot chocolate with Baileys and squirty cream. Oh, it's to die for. I heard about this. I thought I must give it a go, so I gave myself a bit of a birthday treat. Oh, if you haven't had hot chocolate with Baileys and squirty cream on top, you just don't know what you're missing. Oh, I'm supposed to be meeting Colin, but the wind has got up, and I just, well, he felt that he wasn't confident enough to travel in wind. Well, I don't blame him, to be honest. I mean, I struggled a couple of times when it's been a bit windy. But if it's your first maiden voyage to the unknown, you kind of want the best conditions that you can have. So I fully understand why Colin wants to hang around in that marina place that he's in. Jacund. No, never going to use it. But I think it's about education, and I'm not so sure the education I had was any good, to be honest. Anyway, I think I've waffled on enough. I think I have. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, those of you that have, and if you haven't subscribed, it is free. Give it a go. It does help me out with the algorithm. It does help me out, full stop. Thank you very much for all of you who have subscribed. Tip top. So until next week, when hopefully I will be going through some locks with Colin and then heading down towards Braunston to start our journey, well, his journey and my journey, anyway, start our journeys towards the Canal. So, ciao, bye-bye.